Good morning, good morning, good morning. Well. We are in a new month, but it is still the same season of news in motion. So, hello, November, and hello, everyone who is tuning in to News in Motion, whether you are tuning in live here at 7:25 a.m. or if you're catching the replay, whether it be in the afternoon, the evening, or in the nighttime. We just want to say thank you for tuning in and showing your love and support. November is here, y'all. It's about to be the end of the year. This year has flown by. Some months have gone by faster than others, but we are here in November. If you took if you took your kids trick or treating last night, I salute you because I know it was cold out there. It was frigid cold. I know a couple kids in my neighborhood. They were starting to come. They stopped coming after 7:30. So they only came for a good 30 minutes, maybe an hour long. But that frigid air said, y'all gonna stay inside. And then we had some sightings of snow. So I don't know what's going on with the weather, but we having some sightings of snow in November. I don't like that. I usually like my snow in December, maybe January, but I need the leaves to keep falling before I get some snow. Or if any at that. I don't really like snow. But how is everyone doing today on this hump day? It is Wednesday, November the 1st, 2023. And with it being November, I know this is only a few weeks away, but what is on the menu for some Thanksgiving folks? What is on the menu? Of course, you're gonna have your turkey, your ham, maybe some fried chicken, or are you doing something different this year? Let us know what you are thinking about doing in the chat. I see you, Miss Marion Jackson. I see you, Miss Adrian, tuning in through YouTube, and they said smash that like button. Yes, please do. Good morning, Miss Regina Shorts, tuning in through Facebook. Good morning, Miss Shirley Nicholson. And good morning, Miss Latrice Jones, who is also tuning in through Facebook as well. And good morning to you, Miss Kim Edmondson. So, with that being said, y'all know what we do here. Let's get ready for some news in motion.
News in motion.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Picking up where Isaiah left off. First of all, his mama said, and I said his mama said, knew he was going to talk about food. So he must have left the house hungry this morning. I see Jacqueline in there. Good morning to you. Deborah Johnson says, good morning. It's cold outside and I am enjoying it. I don't want snow yet. I don't want snow yet either, but I do like these cold temperature sweater, leggings, boots, gloves, scarf. I love it. Good morning, Deborah Sneak. Good morning, Shirley Nicholson. She said, different, not cooking, Isaiah. She said she's not cooking at all. I'm not either. I told you I was getting a Tommy's pizza, picking it up on Wednesday, and I'm gonna be in my pajamas all weekend long. That's what I'm doing. I'm not cooking. Um, Deborah, Lisa, Latrice says, Deborah Johnson, I can do without this coat. This coat is amazing. Happy hump day, Marion. Yes, we got our first snow last night. I thought that was a little crazy. And I see you, Dr. Antoinette. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I thought it was only fitting since it is November and Isaiah kicked it off very well. She said, your mama said you're always hungry, Isaiah. I believe he kicked it off very well. I'm talking about November. This is November the 1st. Can y'all believe it? First of all, I'm thinking it's still like July, August. Y'all, we're at November 1st. So I wanted to read a couple of emails that we have received over the last couple of weeks, just a couple of them. These come to the News in Motion with Gail at gmail.com. So if you ever want to send an email, y'all can do that. We also have a phone number if you have suggestions you want to leave, and the email is up there. Thank you so much, Isaiah. And then the suggestions, y'all can leave a message at 614-441-8178. Y'all be nice. Just be nice. Yes, Deborah, great question. Where did the year go? Where did it go? But here's the first Let's see. Latrice Jones said, "Okay, Gail E. Dudley, I see you with the red lips and the cold shoulder. Watch out now. That's right. Watch out. Watch out." And the lipstick, let's talk about that real quick. Side note, side note. I was like, okay, I've been doing the neutral. It's the change of weather. Let me get a little spicy. How about that? How about that? Dr. Antoinette said, "Remember, sharing is caring." Y'all are in it with this daggone weather. Thank you, Dr. Antoinette. She said, "I look fabulous." Well, thank you. Well, here's the first email I want to read to all of you. So I guess I'll get here and get off the chat. But here's the email I want to read to all of you. This person comes in from our audio platform. Um, Her name is Susanna, and she says, "I stumbled upon you one morning driving to work and just want to say absolutely fabulous." She goes, "Now I get my coffee, get to my destination early, and I start taking notes, and then I go through and check the news as you have called us to do so." She said, "A couple of things real quick. I do want to come alongside of you all and invest because I've never heard any news like this. So, first of all, thank you, so Susanna, for saying that. Second of all, she said, your presentation, the way you engage the audience and the way you bring all of us into your platform is outstanding." She says, third of all, "Why aren't you on national TV?" Anyway, I just wanted to send an email to say thank you for all you're doing. So thank you, Susanna. The next one says, get this, here you go with they said, "Your hair is the bomb. Whoever told you to straighten it years ago, you should go back and slap them." That was the email. And then they go on to say, on a serious note, she said, this person says, "I love the way that you carry yourself, that you engage the audience. I love everything that you're doing. Please, please, please," they said it like 4 or 5 times across the email, "do not stop delivering this news. Whatever we need to do to help, we can do it." This person says, "I'm willing to give up a cup of coffee from Starbucks every week to make sure you don't disappear." So, just a couple of quick emails to put out there. So, thank you both. This person, they just used their initials. So, I'll just say their initials, and I'm saying she, and I only say she because of something she said in the email, but the initials are HS. So thank you both for writing in, and we have more that write in as well. So we just want to say thank you. We're hearing from you. Some of y'all had me cracking up earlier this week, like Stephanie Burbridge Hall talking about, "I have withdrawals come Friday." It's just so interesting. So we know that we have a platform, but the question is, where do we go? Where do we take it? I'm loving everything that I'm doing, but I also got to pay attention to those numbers. Kim Edmondson says, "Spicy." That's right. Good morning, Jeff Payne. Good morning to you. Judy Neal, good morning to you. Kim Edmondson says, "If you're listening, Susanna," she says, "Say that, Susanna." And that's community. I agree with that. That is community. All right, y'all, let's get into the news on this November the 1st, okay? So let's jump in. CBS News is reporting that Israeli officials said a senior Hamas commander who is believed to have directed part of the militant group's October the 7th attack and kidnapping of more than 220 people in Israel, has been killed after the air raid. So there's that. Jeff Payne says, "I love the news that you bring." Well, thank you, Mr. Payne, Elder Payne. Thank you. USA Today follows up and reports and says that the U.S. has not backed calls for ceasefire until hostages are released by Hamas. As y'all know, many protests are coming about, and they're wanting the U.S. president to say, "Okay, we got to cease fire until we get all the hostages out." Protesters interrupted the U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken as he delivered testimony to the Senate committee on Tuesday on the administration's emergency funding request for Israel and Ukraine, calling for a ceasefire now and accusing the U.S. of supporting a massacre in Gaza. I want to add to that one. I didn't have this in my notes, but early this morning, I ran across a speech being delivered by former Secretary Hillary Clinton. And a young man in the audience stood up, and I guess they just kind of like started going back and forth. Now, first of all, she's still spicy too, because she wasn't stopping. And she said, "Young man, I'm willing to talk to you afterwards." He says, "I disagree with you. You're not going to want to talk to me after." He kept saying, "I demand these answers." President Biden is calling for this. So what it sends the message is that as Americans, we're not just taking stuff that we're being told anymore. We're like, mm-mm. And maybe that's why they want to silence AI, because we're like getting into like what's really happening, what's really going on. But again, AI has a lot of misinformation and disinformation as well. I read all that to you all yesterday. And again, if you want what I shared with you and some additional documents, make sure you sign up for the Friday rundown with Gail. It's a newsletter, electronic newsletter. It comes out every Friday. Well, maybe every Friday. But all the information is there. You just go to www.gaildudley.com. A pop-up box would come up. Just complete the information. That's all you have to do. And that is free. That is free. So make sure you check that out. But the people are saying enough. So we want to make sure we're giving you a lot of content. I know sometimes it can be overwhelming, but we're doing it so that you know what's actually happening and how it can go. Um, Side note, y'all, Lori Wallace said that shirt is fire, sis. You look beautiful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I think it has a little bit to do with, not a little bit. It has a lot to do with, if y'all noticed, since September 11th, I came back just as free as a bird. Like I am free. My mental capacity has shifted. I'm taking on only what I choose to take on. I'm releasing all other chaos and all other mess. I'm staying focused in some areas. I'm letting go of some things in some other areas. The empowerment, the things that I'm reading, the communities that I'm a part of, the people I'm having conversation with, y'all, all goes hand in hand. And here's this. This is key. Every morning, before I jump into any news, I'm like, Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. And then I break out and have my own prayer. I have a little Bible study behind that too. And I move forward. I do some exercising, I do some breathing. And I go with it, y'all. I go with it. That was just a side note there. So thank you, Lori, for putting that out there. But that's just a side note. It's something about taking care of me this morning in my prayer time. Not that I wanted to hear from it, but I looked at the calendar. I said, okay, Jesus, I can do that. Serious. That's how me and God have our conversations. Okay. And if you're new to this platform, every now and then I come out with a praise break, and we understand we have people who follow us who are not believers, and that's okay. Just hang out with us for the news. But trust me, your day's going to shift when I'm done having a conversation with you. But listen here. Listen here. I want y'all to hear this. God said to me this morning, no sugar for 21 days. For what? What? Let me look. When's Thanksgiving? Like what? And I went looking to see when Thanksgiving was. I said, okay, okay, you gave me like a day or two before Thanksgiving. So I gave up sugar today. I was like, okay, geez, I'm gonna give it up for 21 days. Woo, yeah. But every now and then, if you stay that in tune, he will direct your every path, every step of the way. That's the inspirational message on the front side. All right, y'all. So the Hill is reporting. Senate confirms uh I think his name is oh gosh, what is his name? Jacob Lew. Jacob Lew. I gotta get back to my notes. The Senate confirms Jacob Lew as Israel's ambassador to the U.S. Senate. They confirmed him as the next ambassador to Israel, while intelligent officials warned a Senate committee that the Israel Hamas war could raise the potential for terrorist attacks against Americans. Y'all, didn't Latrice Jones call this like 2 3 weeks ago? Didn't she call that like on October the 11th, 9th, 10th, 11th, something like that? Y'all, this is serious. So, y'all, the Senate vote 53 to 43 with two Republicans joining every present Democrat. So, y'all, that's happening. Now, I want y'all to pay attention to this because this was very interesting. Um, CNBC reports that the U.S. government antitrust trial over JetBlue Airways proposed a 3.8 billion, that's with the B, acquisition of Spirit Airlines. Who want to buy them? But anyway, a Spirit Airlines beginning yesterday in Boston. Okay, follow me, follow me, follow me. The Justice Department, along with 6 states and Washington D.C., argues that the merger would limit flight options and result in higher fares, limiting what they call the Spirit effect on the market. You know, people good on Spirit. Now, y'all think that's cheap. I've been on it twice. I won't do it again. You may think, okay, well, here's my ticket for $39. First of all, that should just make you like go, huh? Especially wherever you're flying. $39. Well, if you have a purse, they're going to add money. If you have a backpack, they're going to add money. If you check a bag or if you put the bag in the overhead, they're going to add money. If you want water, you got to pay for it. Listen, I was like, well, yeah. Then they like selling all kinds of stuff on in the air. It's like, well, just tell me how much the ticket is and include all this stuff in it. Okay. That's I just want to say that. So JetBlue is trying to acquire them. Now, it has triggered the industry-wide price reduction of 17% on what they're calling average, and its exit routes fare increased by 30% on average. Okay, exit 17, other 30. Make it make sense because those numbers aren't mathing. Let me keep going. So JetBlue argues the merger is necessary for JetBlue to compete with the four largest domestic airlines, which comprise more of 80% of the market. Okay, so 80% and 30%, that's more than 100%. So again, still the math isn't mathing. All right, so I wanted to go see what the DOJ had to say. Okay, because I was like, something about this just ain't right. So I go to the DOJ. If y'all want to check it out too, go to justice.gov. You can see everything you need out there with the DOJ. So the DOJ is saying, due to the extra fare piece that the Biden administration is putting out there, they're like, no, you can't merge. So now JetBlue is coming back saying, but we are going to merge. I'm like, who's going to win this battle here? And can companies just acquire and assume another company? And are the board members of Spirit Airlines up for this? Good morning, Karen. Are they up for this? Yeah, girl, they charged me for a purse because it was not a small um it was too big, but it was like my normal purse. And I don't, girl, yeah, it wasn't a backpack. Yeah, they charged me for a purse. It was crazy. And I didn't care because a hurricane was coming into New Orleans and I needed to get out of there. I'm like, just take it all. I just want to get on this plane before y'all shut down this airport. So I paid it. I didn't argue. So the U.S. Department of Justice, again, you can go to justice.gov to see everything that's happening in the Justice Department. I'm giving y'all the places where y'all can go. Y'all can go. So y'all, this merger. So I have a question for you all. Should a company just be able to come in and acquire another company because of they want to be a part of the major airlines? There's four large ones, and we want to be number five, so we're just going to come swipe up these other companies. Should you be able to do that? Is that fair? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. I think this is interesting. Now, y'all, the Supreme Court. Somebody say the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court hears two cases considering whether public officials should be held liable for blocking critics on social media. Y'all, this is a good one. Now, plaintiffs in both cases allege First Amendment violations. I see you, Elizabeth. Good morning. Y'all, I have a question because I read, y'all know, y'all also know y'all can go to the uh, Supreme Court of the United States and read everything they gotta say too. It's all public knowledge. They coming for you, Clarence. They coming for Clarence Thomas. That's a side note. But they are the Senate committee. Senator Durbin's like, no, no, we about to come for you. So they starting to subpoena the justices and people involved. And there's one Dr. Antoinette who's cooperating. I'm like, what? I'm sure that billionaire said, well, I didn't expect all this to happen. But y'all, yeah, that's y'all popcorn. And oh, by the way, today I think it's Donnie Jr. on the stand today, y'all, in the Trump case in New York. Y'all, it's going to be on and popping. Y'all better tune in to see what's happening. I can't wait. Let me get back to the Supreme Court of the United States. So the first one is O'Connor Radcliffe versus Garner. I want y'all to listen to this. And I got to read just a little bit. It says in the first case on Tuesday, this started yesterday, the justices are reviewing a ruling in the U.S. Court of Appeals in the Ninth Circuit District, said that real fast, which held that two members of a Southern California school board, and this is O'Connor, Radcliffe, and Zane, violated First Amendments when they blocked two parents who criticized them on their personal Facebook and Twitter accounts. And I was like, well, that's their personal. So now we got to put that in there. Now, they also have their public pages, but parents went to their personal pages and started saying all kinds of stuff, like some really bad things. And they were talking about how their Facebook pages, their personal, have they're at pictures of their home, their dogs, their children, their family, like they're having family conversations and friends and so forth and so on. They're like, this isn't the page for this. You can go to the public page and criticize all you want to. All right. So O'Connor, Ratcliffe, and Zane. And why am I sharing this? Because this is going to affect all of us. So pay attention. Pay attention. This is when I say when a precedent has been set, it trickles down to everyone else. So pay attention. Okay, when they first ran for seats in the school board, in 2014, they had private Facebook pages for their family members and friends, but they created a Facebook page at issue in this case to promote their campaigns. All right, so they just put it out there. They want to promote their campaign and everything. Well, they decided you can't block them. Okay, now the Supreme Court hasn't decided. The people, the school board, the county, their local said you can't block them. Now, why am I saying this? Why am I sharing this? Y'all can check this out for yourselves. Just go to scofusblog.com. This is the Supreme Court of the United States blog. All of their stuff is written in there. You can read it. There's some serious stuff in here that we need to start paying attention to more often than not. So they said that you can't block it because they are public officials. They said it's no different than a celebrity. Well, celebrities block people all the time when there's information out like this. So the Supreme Court is listening to these arguments, and they're saying that because they are public figures, that people can make comments that you can't block. Okay. So then here comes AI. Yeah, we talked about AI on yesterday. Here comes AI. So, what about the misinformation or the disinformation that are on these pages? So, that's one of the Supreme Court arguments that took place yesterday. The other one is Link and Freed. Now, this second case, he's a resident of Michigan against James Freed, the city manager. Pay attention, pay attention. Now, Linky did not approve of Feed's handling of the pandemic and left critical comments on his Facebook page, calling Freed to first delete the comments and then to block him. They're saying, due to First Amendment right violation, this is local, this is their city, okay, saying that you cannot block somebody because you are a public figure. So local voting is important because they're using the local to talk about the federal and now the Supreme Court. Y'all, we have to pay attention to what we're doing. The Supreme Court website, Isaiah, if you're out there, if you can put up the Supreme Court website, we're going to get it up for you. We'll put it up for you so that you can have it. Now, if you can hear this, I know you can, but if you can grab this, their blog is S as in Sam. So Supreme Court of the United States. Take those first letters, blog.com. That's where you see the write-up. And then there's the Supreme Court website as well, which we'll get that as well. Kim Edmondson says, connect the dots. I'm trying, girl. I'm trying. Hang with me. So the Supreme Court contends that there's no one size fit all. So that's what they've been arguing yesterday. And they're saying under the court's purview, he writes, the question is whether the character of the defendant conduct was significantly governmental to make it fair to treat the conduct as state action. So that's where they're landing on. Is this conduct of state action? Is it that they are a public figure? And what can you really write? Which right now it should say to all of us, watch what we post, watch what you post. So now they're saying you can post, but they're saying that you can't block. So this is what I come down to. Looking at the News in Motion Facebook page, I said, so can I block somebody? Because we block people on here all the time, especially those who come in and try to sell something when we're on the air. Isaiah's back there blocking those, taking those off because we're not here to do that. So is that wrong? So are we going to start being hit with things if we're blocking people, especially if people are putting you in different categories? Something to think about. So we're going to watch this unfold, but I wanted to share this today with everything that's happening. So there are two cases that are being heard right now saying you cannot block people on your social media platform if they criticize you. Wow. Is that crazy? I just want to hear your thoughts. So if you're able to put in the chat, respond to that question. Should you be able to block someone for whatever reason? For whatever reason, whether you're a public figure, a celebrity, or not. Should you have the freedom to block someone? Isn't it your page? I'm glad I asked that question because I had to keep reading this, right? Well, you have the Library of Congress, who has also made a response. And the Library of Congress says that's the difference of using a platform that you do not own. Wow. So if you do not own the platform, you have no control over the platform. So that's just like websites. There are a lot of people who use different websites, but you do not own that platform. Whereas in WordPress, building on WordPress, depending upon the WordPress format that you use, you have ownership of that. But there are many out there like Wix, Intuit, and others. You don't own that. So at any time they can do whatever they want to. They can take it down if they want to because you don't own it. So even in the Library of Congress, y'all, just so in case y'all did not know this, all your tweets are filed there. That's why people can go back and find out whatever they want to. Your social media sites, your tweets are there. So, y'all, I got to keep going. This is so amazing. Tuesday's cases are not the first time that the justices have been asked to weigh in on the question of whether public officials are acting as government officials and therefore can violate the First Amendment when they block people on their personal social media accounts. In 2021, the justices considered a petition filed by former President Donald Trump. I'm just reading this, y'all, asking them to review a ruling by the lower court that Trump violated the First Amendment when he blocked the Knight First Amendment Institute and several individuals who had criticized him on the social media platform X, formerly known as Twitter. Now, even in that case, they're still trying to work through it. They also bring up case of the controversial law in Florida and Texas that seeks to regulate social media companies, as well as a dispute alleging that the federal government violated the First Amendment by pursuing social media companies to remove false and misleading content about the 2020 election and COVID-19. Stop right there. Stop right there. This then goes back to talk about they're wanting it to be okay. There are people wanting it to be okay that there is misinformation, disinformation, and false information out there, and that nobody can block them for this. What? Isn't this all interesting? This is the news that we deliver here on News in Motion. I want us to think about it. Let's use some critical thinking through here today. Well, what gives? Let me see what some of you are saying. Kim Edmondson says, heck yeah, you should be able to block. Deborah Johnson says, yes, we should be able to block anyone on our page. Elizabeth Town says, this is interesting. What's important is the definition of criticize and ownership. I love that. Jackie says, yes, we should be able to block someone who's putting negative comments on our page. And then Deborah Sneed is saying, this is interesting. This is where we are. And then Deborah Johnson also says allowing false information is irresponsible. I agree with that. Shouldn't we have to check? Like what's happening, y'all? And this is what I thought about on yesterday, if I can be honest with you. We have George Santos, who's still lying every day. He's still lying. But he is representing a constituent from New York. He's representing for them. He's speaking for them. He's voting on their behalf. So, and then we have the former guy who's constantly lying, okay, still lying today. Then we have other people who are lying. We have national news stations where the entire flock is lying to people. That's why they got sued for some outrageous amount of money. And yet, this is in front of the Supreme Court, and you're saying, I can't block anybody? Really? So what's really happening? Where's democracy here? Where's privacy here? Where's the support of the people who are many times paying for advertisements and things like this? So, and here's the thing that's crazy: no matter how many social media fasts we take, we always seem to come right back to these platforms. So, what's going to give? Dr. Antoinette said, so false information is being permitted, but Black history isn't. Ha! Yes, I love it. I love it. I love that connection there, Dr. Antoinette. Great question. Great question. So yeah, there's this. We're gonna keep watching this one as it continues to unfold. But I just had to share that today. And I said, now how is this feeding into the AI from the Biden administration and the executive order that was signed? Will this executive order find its way to the Supreme Court? Just a question. This is a power of habit. That's what Deborah Johnson is saying. All right, y'all. So then let's move to from the Defense Department. Y'all, my name is on everything out there. They can really. I've been vetted and fact checked and everything else because I get all kinds of stuff now. That Elizabeth said from YouTube, Dr. Antoinette, come through, Dr. Antoinette. Ain't it the truth? There's that. And she did say ain't, okay. Y'all, General Eric Smith, I don't know if y'all been following this. The U.S. Marine Corps' higher ranking officer reportedly hospitalized following Sunday's heart attack. They did rule it a heart attack. Now, Smith has no 4-star deputy due to ongoing block of military promotions by Senator Tommy Tuberville. Y'all remember he's been blocking everything in the Senate, okay? Well, NBC reports, get this. Now he's been blocking everything, okay? Just been blocking. So yesterday he decides, well, let's push a vote through. Well, they've been trying to vote for how long and you kept blocking it. So Senator Tommy Tuberville um, says that, you know, there's a fresh attack here. We need to vote. The same dude that's been blocking all the votes. Why this is why voting is so important and understanding where you say whoever this dude is, a Republican in Alabama, y'all don't vote for him next time because he's not. So right now we are without a U.S. Marine Corps higher ranking because the current one's in the hospital uh, from a heart attack. So there's no second in command right now. Yes, it's like almost like Groundhog's Day. It's a reminder of what happened in the House for 3 weeks. Okay. Y'all, then Bloomberg report. Get this. I don't, Hester, are you on here? A federal jury in Missouri found that the National Association of Realtors, y'all, this is huge, which represents more than 1.5 million agents, represents more than 1.5 million agents in the U.S., is liable for a massive sum after they concluded the trade group conspired to artificially inflate commissions on home sales. So the Justice Department is involved in this as well. Is reportedly scrutinizing the industry's entire brokerage commission structure, which typically requires home sellers to pay 5 to 6% in broker fees. Now, shares of Zillow and other real estate companies dropped following this news. So, y'all, we're going to keep watching this as well. So, the question is, the sellers, the people who have sold their homes, did they get hit with a higher fee because this the National Association of Realtors, they massively inflated commissions? What? Now, this is happening everywhere. What is going on with our world? What is going on with our world? Listen, so the inspirational message today, um, this is a sad story, but I want us to participate in this conversation, and I want us to come up with what Air Canada should have to do. And this is coming out of the Guardian. And let me just read this, and then we're going to have a message behind this. Air Canada has been forced to apologize after a man with cerebral palsy was forced. I'm really ticked off about this. Was forced to drag himself off the plane when the carrier failed to provide a wheelchair for him. Yeah. His name is Rodney Hodgins, age 49, a hardware salesperson from British Columbia. He requires a use of a motorized wheelchair. He flew to Las Vegas with his wife, Deanna, to celebrate their anniversary. This happened this past August. When the plane landed, the flight attendant told the couple there wasn't enough time to get a wheelchair because they wanted to have an on time schedule to take off again. They needed everybody to get off quickly. And they first thought that she was joking. And then she repeated herself, no, we don't have time to get you a wheelchair. You can try to get off on your own, or you can stay on the flight because we got to have an on time connection. Okay. Um, they said the wife and the husband said, but I can't walk. They told the Canadian press. So he had to use his upper body strength to push himself off the plane. He was 12 rows back. So he had to go down the aisle, get out the chair with his strength, and go down the aisle. His wife held his legs and was trying to push him forward while he was using his elbows, his arms, his hands to try to get off this plane. It's a real story. This is a true story. Now, he says, and I quote, it took us struggling in front of a dozen people or more, as some looked away and others looked on with shame to get him off the plane. He hurt his legs and I hurt my back. Emotionally, a lot more was hurt. My husband's human rights were trampled on by Air Canada and they won't respond to us. Well, finally, Air Canada did respond and they said that was wrong, but then they only offered a $2,000 flight voucher. They were like, we're never flying you again. So here's the inspirational message. And this is where I want to hear from y'all before we sign off. What would you do in this case? Even if you were not Rodney, but you were there on the plane, what would you have done? Um, how can we love our neighbor and act this way? How can we love our neighbor or do what we do in this life? Um, and not put a schedule to make sure the plane takes off in time more so than let's do what we can to get this person off the plane. I just want to hear because have we lost something in this world? Where's common courtesy? Where's sensitivity? Where's the love? Even the people who looked away because they were like, this is too painful, or they looked on in shame. Where were the men on the plane to say, I'm strong enough, let me pick him up and at least get him off the plane? Or how can we help? Can we carry some bags for you? What can we do? Why do we have this woman, yes, it's her husband carrying his legs. Why is he scooted? And y'all, the outweigh in a plane isn't big. It's not big at all. My inspirational message is let's come back to a sense of um, sensitivity, of love, of compassion. Let's come back to some. I don't even want to say norm. I don't want to say let's become normal because I don't even know what normal is anymore, or even what it was. But let's show some love. Let's let these people keep their dignity, whoever they are. What can we do? And I want us to really chew on this over the next several days. Now that we're into November, we're coming up onto Thanksgiving and different holidays. Along with that, Advent and so forth. What can we do? Some of the people are saying, let's see. Deborah says, this is outrageous. Why didn't anyone get up to help? Absolutely. Kim says, that's absolutely horrible. Elizabeth Town says, it's always right to do what's right. Deborah Johnson again says, I would have protested and gotten up to help. Mary, y'all, I got these, my eyes go in and out now. Marion Jackson lets everyone, what is common courtesy? Where is the love? Adrian says, what the what? Regina says, humanity is lost in this current climate. Deborah Sneed says, wow, how did we become so uncaring? That hurts my soul. Kim Edmondson says, we must do better. Absolutely. And then Marion says, let's show some love, compassion, and common courtesy. Yeah, I wanted to read, and I'll post this story in the, let me see if I can get it, so that you can read it for yourself. I think it's absolutely horrible. It sends a negative message. I think I got it in there. Yep. It's Apple News, so hopefully you Samsung people can get it. If not, just go to the Guardian or Google disabled man drags himself off the plane after Air Canada fails to offer wheelchair. You can find it. You can find it. And Jackie says maybe some of the other men could have supported him to get off the plane. Yeah. Yeah. So, y'all, that's our news for today. Tomorrow's going to be extremely light day. So, if you want to catch the news, make sure you get on there early. Those of you who have, I think it's sold out. Some people have asked about Color Purple. I think it's sold out, except for the tickets I'm giving away here on this show in the next week. But we're going to check and make sure, but I think it's sold out. And then there were some of you who were asking, how do we get our tickets? You should have received an email with your QR code on it for the ticket, whether you bought 1, 2, or more. If you did not, we do have a list, so you just show up. You should also get an email. We will be sending out an email the week before the actual movie. So the movie is December 9th. We'll send an email out the week before, just with any particulars and things like that. But you should have received. So we've gotten a couple people say, I don't have a ticket. And the people that have emailed us, we see your name. So you should have received an email. So check your spam. Maybe it went to spam. And the email would have come from Eventbrite, not from News in Motion, not from Gail Dudley, but from Eventbrite. All right, y'all. Until tomorrow. Again, it's going to be a light day tomorrow. So if you're coming, come early, because we may not be on here in the full 30 minutes. Y'all know I'm not even messed up with time anymore. So I am grateful to all of you. And again, to those of you who are writing in, thank you. To those of you who've said you're going to contribute and you want to invest in the work of News in Motion to keep us independent, thank you to you as well. And to those of you who said, I can't give, but I'm praying for you all. We appreciate the prayers as well. And don't forget manuscripts and mimosas. You do not, if you are any type of content writer, journal writer, documentary person, want to start a podcast, a broadcaster, whatever, you want to sign up for this. Yeah, you can do it as low as $99.99 a month. And you can cancel at any time. Even if that happens around, you're like, well, that's 11:30, I'm working. Well, take your lunch at 11:30 or watch the replay. The replays are available for 5 days after. But you don't want to miss this. We're excited about it. We're being recognized for doing it. You want to be a part of this community. I really believe you do. You can go to Manuscripts and Mimosas by going to GailDudley.com. And once you click on GailDudley.com, there's an icon up there that says Manuscripts or Mimosas, or you can follow the link that Isaiah just put up there. But join us. The live is this Friday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern. All right, y'all. Until tomorrow, I am Gail Dudley, the host of News in Motion. Y'all keep moving. Continuously make bold moves, and remember to live your life in abundance. We're out.
News in Motion.